Hi there, friends. I'll come in here with a quick note to let you know that the first global Product Owner Summit organized by the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is coming soon. To know more, check out the bit.ly/Product Owner 2023. That's bit.ly/Product Owner 2023. That's all one word, all lowercase. And stick around to the end of the episode to know more. But for now, on to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday, the Leading Change episode. And this week we have with us Caterina Palmiotto. Hey, Caterina, welcome back.
Hello, Vasco. Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. So when we talk about the Scrum Master role, we are also talking about the role of a change agent. We work with change all the time. I mean, sometimes it's our own personal change, obviously. Other times it's the team or the organization or relationships within the team, whatever that might be, we're always working with change. So we want to explore one of those processes that you were involved with, Caterina, and walk us through the steps, like how did that change progress over time? And as you do that, highlight for us the tools, the tips, the tricks, and the techniques you learned back then that you still apply today.
Okay, yes. So I would like to talk about a huge transformation I was involved in. It was a big company. It wasn't a software company. I mean, they were also developing software, but for them. And it was like the main business was manufacturing. So the company decided that they wanted to test Agile. And so the first step they did was to do a pilot with a few teams that were developing software. The pilot went pretty well, and so they decided to move all the rest of the company to Agile. Of course, I mean, all the rest of the company that wasn't really in the manufacturing process. So, I mean, of course, manufacturing, you choose maybe to move to Lean. All the other departments that were designing everything, they wanted to move all those people to Agile. So it was a huge transformation. It was a huge change. And the company and the departments were spread across different time zones, many different time zones. And so for some people, that change meant that they started to work with a different approach with different people coming from different cultures across the world. And so it was really a big change for them. So what they did was really a top-down approach, right? So they decided that they wanted to do the transformation. And so everyone had to accept this, let's say. So the change was happening and they needed to adapt. So the step was to, of course, hire many coaches, internal ones, external ones, and they decided to adopt a model that was a mix of, Spotify and SAFe. And they assigned each team to a coach and, let's say, each tribe leadership team to a coach. So they wanted to have each level assigned to a coach so that, of course, the change could be smooth, or at least, there was someone that could help people to adapt and to learn the new ways of working. So I have to say that I think that the top-down approach worked in that case because people had no choice. And so I saw teams starting really from zero. They have no idea what they were supposed to do. And, pairing with the coach and talking to each other, talking also with other teams that were facing the same change, helped them. And I've seen some teams doing a wonderful path. So maybe let's say in 3 months, 4 months, they started to have a nice cycle of continuous improvement, and that was really nice. At the same time, of course, there were a lot of complexities, difficulties, because the model was new for the company, and all the things that you didn't think about it before were coming out, and so there were a lot of problems to face. So what I would like to share maybe about this change approach that I learned during the experience is that if I could go back, and of course this is my opinion, and if I could influence the company with my opinion, I would suggest to take a larger step than the pilot, but not go for the huge transformation for the whole company, because I understand it's very complicated to identify only a small part that can be moved to during transformation. But the transformation was very risky. I think the approach worked in the end, but it was very risky along all the time, because when you're doing such a huge change, at some point I think you lost your final goal, and you start measuring your success as, agile adoption metrics. And you can say, yes, everyone is adopting agile in a nice way, but you don't know if you're actually improving the business, if you're actually improving what the company is doing. So everyone is working agile now, but you have no idea what that means for your business. And so I would say, it would have been better to identify a smaller part of the company, let's say a value stream, where you can define measure to measure what you are really doing, what you are changing in terms of value and product. And at the same time, you need less new coaches, so you can call real experts that can coach your teams and that can teach also maybe to your junior coaches how to do the job. And so when you move to the rest of the company, you already have internal person that can really maybe make the difference, because they will stay there, they know
and they adopt a new culture and then become kind of agents of that culture.
Yes, exactly.
But one thing that is curious, though, so I hear the point that such a big transformation is risky, and it could cause a lot of disruption, which I'm sure it did for the people involved, obviously, but it was ultimately kind of a success, or at least it wasn't a big failure. But let's take that idea that such a big transformation is risky. What do you think in that context? What do you think helped that huge transformation succeed? What were the things you saw that when you look back, you say, maybe it was because of this, that actually, despite it being huge and despite it being risky, it still worked well?
Well, I think they care. I mean, there were a lot of people that really cared about what they were doing, and I think the people knew that they would have received help. So they, kind of follow the change, even if it was scary, because they knew that there were people that would have helped. And I think that one of the most important things and interesting things was that there was a very nice approach to manage the different cultures, and also between us coaches and the Scrum Master that was growing in the team. We had a lot of discussion talking about how should we approach maybe each practice and team with this culture. And it was really important for the success, I think, the fact that also in the coaches community, there were people from different cultures, so that we can, understand before between us what could be the problem, how we could help teams with different cultures inside. I mean, very different cultures. So you really need to ask yourself, okay, if I say this, what is going to be perceived on the other side? And that really helped. I think that was an important step for the success of the transformation. And yes, also the fact that people followed. I mean, the change, there was a culture in the company that allowed people to trust. I mean, of course, maybe not everybody, but the majority trusted the process, they followed the process, and at the end they discovered that it was working, but they didn't know that at the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does require a lot of leadership in the company to be able to move everybody, right?
Yes.
I don't know how the company was and what was their culture of leadership, but in order for everybody, or at least a large majority, to trust that, yes, this is the right thing, even though it's scary and big and so on, that must have meant, or that means, at least for me, there must have been a culture of respecting and even accepting the direction from leadership.
Yes, indeed. Yes, there was a lot of respect. Everyone was always nice in saying things. In that case, they were talking about problems, but they were nice. And this was a common pattern in all the company. And again, I think it's related to the presence of many different cultures. So you can know how the other will respond. So you get the habit to talk to people in a nice way because you want that they receive your message.
Absolutely. And that's critical, that culture of respect, even when talking about difficult topics. Thank you for sharing that story, Caterina.
Thank you, Vasco.
Hi there, Agile friends. Thank you for sticking around. This year's first global summit dedicated to the product owner role in Scrum will have some amazing keynotes and 2 tracks filled with first-hand stories and experiences for product owners to learn more about that critical Scrum role. We'll have Roman Pichler, author and product expert, who will be answering your questions and sharing the most important aspects of the product owner role. We'll also have Colleen Johnson talking about why roadmaps are probably making your life much harder than it needs to be, and what to do instead. This talk was quite a success in Agile Online Summit 2022, and Colleen has learned some new tricks, tools, techniques that she will share with us when it comes to roadmaps for the product owner role. And we will also have Henrik Nyberg, author of Scrum and Kanban from the Trenches, as well as one of the creators of the Spotify model. So come in and listen to his stories. And we'll also have, of course, 2 tracks with many more sessions and even some live sessions. The 2 tracks will cover practices every product owner should know, where we'll be hosting conversations on topics that product owners need to be familiar with, like backlog refinement, planning, and much more. The second track will be on metrics, measuring product and personal success as a product owner. As product owners, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of what are the metrics that drive success for us, and of course also for the products and businesses that we work with. And we need to continuously measure and optimize those metrics. So in this track, we'll be sharing what's working and what's not in the area of measuring success for product owners. We will also have the opportunity to network with our peers. It's a network event, of course, so get your tickets and join our Slack. Go to bit.ly/product owner 2023. That's all one word, all lowercase. As always, we will have free tickets and VIP tickets, which will give you long-term access to the content of this summit. So check them out at bit.ly/product owner 2023. All lowercase, all one word. I'll see you on the summit floor. Leading change is one of the core skills we must acquire, but it is only one of the steps towards our success as Scrum Masters. Tomorrow, on Success Thursday, we will talk about how to define success for the Scrum Master role. We'll cover tips on how to measure your way to that position, and most importantly, how to develop that focus on continuous improvement that is as important for Scrum Masters as it is for teams. See you tomorrow.